Welcome back to part 3. I'm going to speak fast, so listen quickly. He's going to speak of these 4 originals. What was it like before the fall and of Adam and Eve? So he first of all talks about original solitude. He reminds us that there are 2 creation accounts. They're not meant to be read literally, but just as we remember, Jesus or God speaks about in those original that there are 3 really important truths that we learn from the creation story. Number 1 is that God created the world out of nothing. He created us to be in communion with him. And number 3, he created humans to be in relationship with each other. He mentions God many times, 6 times specifically in that first creation story. And God and Adam are on this one-on-one beautiful relationship. Humans are different than the other creatures. And so he makes a very clean point of saying that humans are different than the other animals. We communicate with God, animals don't. We stand in God's presence and are aware of that. We know that we know. We know that God exists. We can think, therefore we are. We can reflect on our experience and learn from it. So in the original solitude, God and humans are alone with each other and they are good. Yet they're alone and they realize that they're lonely. And so the second original is this notion of original unity. And so after all these animals are brought before him, God takes from man's rib and creates a woman, and Adam sits there and goes, whoa, this one's beautiful, and he loves her. So this woman is made out of equal dignity. And so we learn that man finds his perfection not in being alone, but in unity. That's when humans were at their greatest, when they were in communion with each other. So they can be alone and be happy, but it's within unity that we find the greatest joy. We want to belong. Think of your own life. John Paul II says that we need to validate all of these theologies with our own lived experience. And that is that we want to belong into groups. We want to be loved by other people. We were created to be in relationships. And so this second original unity is that we are created to be in relationship, just like the Holy Spirit and God the Father and Jesus, who are in perfect relationship with each other. They're distinct but inseparable. That's how human beings are meant to be, distinct from each other yet inseparable. And so humans in this unity, we live a world where we accept from others and give to others, and that's what sexual unity is all about. When we meet Live Future, I'll tell you more about that helper. It's really beautiful. But men and women are different. Women are more relational than men. They're more emotional than men, generally speaking, expressive. They use more words than men do. Men tend to be more stoic, more task-oriented. And so we are different, but we're very complementary to each other. We give and take from each other to make our life more. And so sin becomes this opportunity where we miss the mark. We miss aiming at communion with God and communion with our fellow men, and we desire to be made whole again. The third type of original is this original nakedness. So JP points out that he talks about 2 views of the word shame. And he speaks about shame in a positive sense. He says, shame in a sense gives us a sense of modesty where we protect our beauty. Think about people we don't necessarily want to be naked in front of other people. We want to protect our beauty, if you will. So there is moral shame that comes from us doing things wrong, but there's sexual shame in the sense of protecting who we are. That original sin is kind of this notion of that we mistrust God, we mistrust each other, and a sin of pride causes us to focus in on our own wants and needs. And so when you look at this whole thing, basically what we're end up saying there is that JP points out that our original experience is to be one with God, to be in solitude with God, to be in union with God and each other, to be naked before God and each other is good. Original sin is what tears that apart, and it tears our relationship with God apart. And so reflect on these things. You're going to have a quiz to take right now. It's a 10-question quiz, and then you're going to have an assignment that's in the assignment box. I hope this worked well for you. It did for me. God bless you.